All right, all right, all right. Hello, 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 everyone out there in Blog Talk World. And those of you who are listening, you are dishing tea with Big Meats. I would like to thank all of you for listening in and for coming on to the show with us. I am titling this show today, If You Love Me, Say It. We have a fantastic guest coming on for you today, and I'm very, very excited. We've been wanting to do this for a little minute, and the timing was right for it to come along. Now, before I get into introducing the guest, I want to make sure that everyone knows what the rules are. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I encourage you to please call 347-205-9183. Once again, 347-205-9183. If you're listening by telephone, once you dial that number, just press the number 1, and I will get the call queue that you would like to ask a question. I'm very thankful for you. If you have any suggestions, comments, concerns, dear Meets letters to come up with our relationship shows that are coming up very soon, please send all correspondences to dishingteawithbigmeech@gmail.com. Once again, dishingteawithbigmeech@gmail.com, and tea is spelled like the drinking tea, T-E-A, okay? Just a personal disclaimer, this is an adult show, so some of the language you may hear may get a little explicit from time to time, so your listening discretion is advised, okay? I would like to give shout out to my sponsors today. I have a new sponsor, actually, Trade Day Management and Publicity. I would like to thank you, my darling. Thank you for your interest in Dishing Tea with Big Meech. Trade Day Management and Publicity is a full-service project management and publicity firm specializing in media pitching and placement, exposure campaigns, event support, launches, public relations writings, and relationship building. Enjoy a touch of Southern hospitality with a universal appeal. At Trade Day, we build a solid relationship with businesses or projects based on dedication and commitment. We deliver effective solutions for a wide range of creative printing and fulfillment needs. That's Trade Day Management and Publicity. You can join them at their website. The official page is the MySpace page, www.myspace.com/Trade Day, TREADAYPR. Once again, thank you so much, Trade Day Publicity, for all of your hard work and your belief in Dishing Tea with Big Meech. Also, Pharaoh's Treasure Box, fine art and jewelry, creations by Taps. For all of your artwork and your unique jewelry design needs, please contact Pharaoh's Treasure Box, and they can be contacted at their website, pharaohstreasurebox.com, or you can call them directly, 248-688-5178. Now, they do have an event coming up the 15th of August, and it's Pharaoh's Treasure Box and Art by Sood. It's a Saturday cookout from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Sherwood Forest at 19500 Livernois Avenue in Detroit, Michigan. For more information, please contact Pharaoh's Treasure Box at 248-688-5178. Thank you so much to the sponsors out there. Once again, we have a wonderful guest that I want to bring to the forefront. She's doing some exciting new things, reintroducing herself back into the world, and we are excited to have them back. She's also a longtime friend of mine. I know y'all tired of me saying that, but she's a longtime friend of mine. We go way back to the days of high school. I know her as Nikki. You guys know her as NICCI GILBERT of Brownstone. And I'm going to give you just a brief intro of who she is. She hails from Detroit, Michigan, and she has been a member of the Cody High School critically acclaimed La Trope des Arts drama department. Nikki cut her theatrical chops and her musical chops at an early age, and that led her to a theatrical scholarship to Eastern Michigan University. Choosing to take a more hands-on approach to getting her career started, Nikki left Michigan for California, and in 1994, Brownstone was created, soon after becoming the very first group to sign to the late, great Michael Jackson's label, MJJ Records. While she had forged her way through Hollywood and gaining a wonderful, wonderful musical career, which garnished her a Grammy nomination and platinum record-selling accolades, Nikki returned to her very first love, and that's acting. You've seen her on Martin, Sister Sister, and in Living Single. You've seen her in movies like Woo with Jada Pinkett Smith and Living Out Loud with Queen Latifah. You've even seen her on stage as she played Vera Brown in the stage version of Tyler Perry's Meet the Browns. In 2005, Nikki decided to move behind the scenes to become a writer, producer, and director. And under those titles, she had developed 2 hit plays, Sweet Potato Pie and Soul Kitten Cabaret. Currently, she's developing a performing arts academy to uplift and empower youth to express themselves creatively in the world of entertainment and the performing arts. So she has a number of new projects coming out, and we would like for you to take this time and welcome to Dishing Tea. This is the one, the only, Miss Nikki Gilbert. What's up, girl? Dish your tea with me.
Hey, Z. How
Hey, girlfriend, honey, it is all good. I'm so finally glad that we've got this time to do this. Thank you so much.
It's been a minute. It has been a minute. How are you?
It has been a minute. I am everything, and everything is me, okay?
Oh, that's right. And you are dishing tea, honey. Dishing
okay.
tea.
Thank you, my darling. You know, before we go any further, I want to get this part out of the way because it's a somber note, but we can't do this without taking a time to acknowledge the death and passing of Michael Jackson. I know he was such an inspiration to you, and as I said in the intro, you guys being the first group on his label, what did that mean to you in the group, and how did you guys react, and how are you handling it now?
I mean, I would say initially the reaction was shock and disbelief. Everybody, you had to rewind, look online. You know, when you hear TMZ report something, you have to kind of second guess that. So
exactly.
No offense to TMZ, but TMZ can sometimes be offensive. So anyway, but at first it was disbelief and shock, and then it turned sort of into the realization that it was true. And from that, you know, I realized, I think, at that very moment, just how fortunate and blessed we were as a group, and I was as an individual. You know, being a girl, coming from the hood in Detroit, West Side, Mansfield, represent. And, coming from that and having had the opportunity to be touched by Michael Jackson, it immediately took me back to a time. There was a store called Woodrugs on Plymouth. So anybody who knows, Plymouth and I think St. Mary's or something. But anyway, I went into that store, and they had those Polaroid pictures that you could buy of Michael Jackson. And I remember it must have been about 14, 13. I went and got one of those pictures and faked the autograph and was going around telling people Michael Jackson signed it for me. I mean, my imagination. Had one since I was born. So, just lying but I guess I was sort of, that was my secret or my sort of willing into my life. And I went back to that moment when I discovered he died. And I just realized that, wow, this is, it's such a blessing, and there was so much more value in the whole experience that I had.
Wow.
Having been signed to him at the moment of his death, because I guess it's true what they say, you don't really appreciate something until it's gone. And at the moment that I realized he was gone, I just fell into immediate appreciation and gratification, and being very thankful. Yep.
Wow, that's remarkable. That is remarkable. Now, how did all of that come about for you in Brownstone? How did that audition come to?
Honey, I'm actually writing a book. Yes, that's my 20th job. But,
okay, right. Okay.
We're so cool. I'm going to give you some bits and pieces. It's a really amazing, interesting story of just, being in the right place at the right time. And I'm not going to go into the details of all the specifics because I want people to buy the book. And then you can have it.
Okay, right. To give the book teaser. Right.
But the teaser is just that it all started out with me being stranded in the desert, in the middle of nowhere in Banning, California, with no car, no phone, whole 9 yards, doing a favor for somebody. And as a result of that favor, the person I did the favor for didn't have me stranded in the desert. They were unaware. But when they became aware, they said, oh, we're going to set you up with this audition with the publisher because we know you're a songwriter. And I'm not going to talk about how the audition with the publisher went, but it was just all God because the publisher had passed and his bosses happened to, he passed. We went up, put the group together, well before we even knew a Michael Jackson label existed. And, I'm always on the grind and always on the hustle. So I was like, oh, these are some rich white kids from Beverly Hills. They may have some relationships, whatever. Well, it turns out they had a relationship with a publisher who had a relationship with Jerry Greenberg, it hadn't even been announced that Michael's label was even coming to fruition. I think they wanted to wait until they found the right brand or the right group to put out before they kind of made the announcement because nobody knew. So we went and we met with Jerry Greenberg, Marla McNally, and Linda Blum, who ended up being our publishers at Emerald Forest, heard us singing upstairs, and they're like, who wrote those songs, and blah, 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 blah. And we were on our way out the door, as in leaving, because the guy they hired to pick good music passed on us, and they just happened to be downstairs. So, yeah, it's a great story, which I'm saving for the book. But anyway, we went and auditioned for Jerry, and then he said, okay, I can't really go into too many more details. It's an independent label, very, very well-known recording artist. Kind of downplayed it a little bit, and the next thing you know, we were in a dark conference room like 2 weeks later, and then all the rest is for the book, and the rest is history. So.
Wow. Okay. Now you know, wet my whistle already because I want the inside dirt. I want the dirt.
See with the book, right?
Okay, right. Okay, well, cute, because see, when it comes available, then we just have to have you back, and then we can get into the more specific. Like I said, the teaser, girl, the teaser. Okay, so I know that you come from a musical background. Your mom, Miss Helen Gilbert, honey, who has lit up Detroit forever as the just lovely jazz vocalist. And your father being into the recording industry and have his own studio and things, how has that shaped you and your style growing up with all of that surrounding you and shaping you?
Well, I mean, it's in my genetics. It's in the DNA. I mean, my dad is a songwriter and a producer and actually can sing a little tune. He sings a little own tune. I was surprised at that. My mom is a jazz singer and just an absolutely incredible diva, So it's like, the two of them together is why the same reason I'm a, what do you call it? I can't sleep at night. What's the word? Insomniac. Or nocturnal is because they were both musicians and just it's in me. So that part I couldn't avoid. I think initially I wanted to act. I wasn't so into singing because the kind of music my mom was singing, which was Billie Holiday and Sarah Vaughan and, Carmen McRae and all that stuff. I wasn't into that so much growing up. You know what I'm saying? I was into, Chaka Khan and that kind of stuff. But
right.
So I kind of moved away from music and got a little more exposed in theater. My parents' influence, my dad has always given me really good advice on what I should do in terms of contracts and paperwork. He's a very, very smart man. He worked very closely with Norma Whitfield and Berry Gordy and Suzanne DePass crew. My dad was a Motown writer who actually did If I Were Your Woman for Gladys Knight.
Get out.
Yeah, he all of the car wash records my daddy engineered. So you didn't know that in high school because I didn't know that in high school. I heard about it, but my dad wasn't involved in my life much until like the last year of high school.
Okay.
But that's a whole nother story.
That's for the book, girl.
For the book. But, yeah, my mom always had music. We had a room in our house called the music room, which is where my mom had her stereo. And, we had a piano in the home. My mom would have live rehearsals with her band members in the house. And, so music was always in our household. And, so I kind of, you kind of, it's like the kid who has a father who's a doctor and they don't necessarily want to do medicine and then they just discover that this great surgeon,
right?
Because of that. So it was kind of like that. In high school I was more into drama than the choraleers. I did the choraleers because I could sing, but I was more excited about, you catch me after school till 11 o'clock at night because I'm dealing with Susan Story, not
exactly. Exactly. And let's talk briefly about those high school days because, as I said, we know each other from La Trope Desire, the drama department.
Griffin and the Marshmallows.
Okay. My mock turtle.
That tea.
Okay, my mock turtle. For the
Yes.
we did Alice in the Land of Wonder. We took Alice in Wonderland and we had to stretch it out because there was so many in the drama department. So Susan Story, who was the coach, she wrote in parts and we had to change the name for licensing reasons and call it Alice in the Land of Wonder. I played the Griffin and Nikki played the mock turtle. So yeah, for those of you who need that backstory. But let's talk about how those early days helped shape you to be the performer that you are, because as I look at your videos and when I was watching you live on television and things, I see that you were able to keep a lot of what we were taught back in those days as a staple to you. So explain that to us.
Absolutely. I think one thing that I learned in high school, having had a drama coach who was a professional, it wasn't like she was just an English teacher who had a passion for English but got stuck teaching drama. She was very thorough in how she instructed and directed us. I mean, we learned the craft, from building the sets to cleaning out the we were going to actually be taught in. She just really, I learned that performance is about, drawing from, real emotions and real convictions and being honest. I learned that, being real and being honest was really important. So in my music, a lot of times, you'll catch me with my mouth open too wide because I don't pay much attention to what I look like, so much, or how I'm delivering it so much as where it's coming from. And in my performing and acting, it's the same thing. And then when I do a music video, it's pretty much the same thing. You perform the acting. So, just to be real and find a place to connect with in your real emotion and kind of putting it through the song. And then also I write a lot of the material that I perform, so I have an opportunity to, go back there and, really have to deliver.
All right. So is writing like a first love for you, or is acting? Because you do a lot of songwriting, which helps to personalize the music for you. So is that a love, or was that your first love?
My first love would have to be, I think I'm discovering now that my first love is writing. Because I think writing is, for me, a therapy, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's an opportunity to get, and not everything is personal experience. Some things are other friends and close, family members' personal experiences. Some things are fantasies. Some things are, you know what I mean? So in writing, not just music, and writing, some of the plays that I've written and some of the television concepts, I think my passion, let me rephrase that, my passion is visualizing, creating content. Anything creative, anything that allows me to create either a sound with my voice or a script, for other actors to perform or a pilot idea, anything that involves the creative process is my first love. I think directing and putting things together, in terms of if the question is, if I had to choose a career right now today and it could only be one thing, it would definitely be behind the scenes. I think I have more of a passion for executing ideas and seeing other people, get out and have the opportunity to flourish creatively than I do being on stage. Yeah, music, singing is always, I love singing. It's a part of who I am. It's what people recognize me for most. But for me, it's like I've done it. I've been to the big party. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I can sing in my house. I can sing to my man. I can sing to my little nephews and still get the same joy. I don't need the fame and the spotlight and, the microphone all the time.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I feel that all day.
It's creative.
Okay. All right. I understand that completely, because I feel like my acting is my passion. Singing is a hobby. I sing just because I sing.
Honey,
right. So now, when you develop the group, how was that process? Because a lot of folks don't understand what it takes to develop the group, to come together, to say, okay, we're going to form this, and then creating the band and this, that, and the other. How was that for you when you created Brownstone?
Again, it's that process. when I created Brownstone, I wanted to, I wasn't so concerned about being a solo artist. Musically, I appreciate harmonies and I appreciate arrangements. And I'm a drama girl, so I like to take different stuff and put it together and just make it work. And that's kind of vocally and aesthetically what I was looking for with Brownstone, just a group of women who could really sing, who really could connect vocally because we were passionate about our, not just our voices, but what our message, what we were singing. And I posted some auditions and, ended up Brownstone originally was 5. There was a girl by the name of Selena Merle, if I'm saying her name right. And then there was a girl, oh my God, I forget this girl's name, but she's Barry White's niece.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's been so long ago. Please forgive me. It's on the tip of my tongue. We on radio, so I can't spend too much time on it. But there were 5 of us, and eventually, it was taking a minute, so the other girls kind of decided to go in some different directions, and it was just me, Mimi, and Maxie left, and then that opportunity came up. So, and I thought it was it's wonderful how God just kind of, you think you're in control, and you have the sort of idea that's given to you, and you put it out there, and it just ended up being the exact perfect mix for what we did, and that was incredible.
Okay. Yeah. Now, in coming together with a group, a lot of folks get caught up all the time in, having a lead singer and 2 backgrounds or however that works. How was it that you guys decided that, okay, I'm going to lead this song, or maybe you should lead this song? How does that process work in that to get the best delivery of the song or the best interpretation?
And it goes to just like not fighting. First of all, eliminating ego is really important, which is my company is no ego. So not saying that I have no ego, but I aspire to get to that point. And I think when you eliminate your ego and you do what's best for the song, I mean, like Maxie's not going to sing Grapevine like Nikki's going to sing Grapevine, and Grapevine is a record that needs to be delivered that way. But then Nikki's not going to sing I Can't Tell You Why, or Sometimes Dancing the way Maxie's going to deliver Sometimes Dancing I Can't Tell You Why. And, it's just about being honest and being humble and saying, well, look, this song is aggressive, is loud, big. You know what I'm saying? Let's give it to Nikki. Or this song is subtle and it's sexy and it just flows and you want to just feel like you're being lulled, you know what I mean, or crooned.
Right.
Let's give it to Maxie. And I think it's the same dynamic as, and then Mimi Mimi was really good about saying, hey, look, I love harmonies. I love to play extremely high notes that not too many other bitches could sing. Excuse me.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So it's not, there is nothing that will ever, take away or diminish her contribution to Brownstone, because every time you hear If You Love Me, you listen to Mimi. You listen to Grapevine, so many people say that. So nobody's contribution was any less than another. When it comes to that whole lead singer thing, I think because the records that were on the radio, I sang more leads on. And because I have a sort of, dynamic that sometimes I get a little carried away with my own bigness. You know what I'm saying? I think that they looked at it that way. But I think Brownstone has proven to be more valuable than Nikki, Maxie, or Mimi as individuals. The collective of Brownstone, the name. And I think the reason for that is because Brownstone is exactly that, 3 women who could all sing. I just think people may have heard more from me and may have associated me more as a lead singer. But on this record, Maxie's singing more.
Okay, right. Now let's talk about the name itself, because I read in the liner notes that when you guys developed the name, that it was indicative of like the Brownstones of New York and carrying on. There's so many different shades to a brownstone, but yet the brick is still brown, and yet it was a metaphor for the culture of our African American history and whatever. Is that still the precedent of what the name stands for?
Absolutely. The name originally started, Mimi was reading a book called Brown Girls, Brown Stones.
Oh, I remember that book. Yeah.
And I asked her what the book was about. Right. And she was like, oh, it's about da-da-da-da. I was like, it's kind of like us. Like, it's kind of like accepting your own skin and coming into who you are as a woman and loving yourself for who you are. And then I thought, we'd always had this this attraction to New York. No surprise, our hit record came out of a production team from New York, and we recorded a lot of the first album in New York. But it was all about us being, we wanted a name that was timeless, that was classic, that was well built. You know what I mean? That was within the structure, and not something that was too pretty or too, you know, she. You know what I mean?
Okay, right.
You know what I mean? We thought about
I got you.
Solid, strong things. And, of course, the Brownstones of New York, how they fall into play is that, you know, I was amazed at what I saw when I went inside of a Brownstone. Our first manager, David Sonnenberg, owned a Brownstone, or probably still does, off of, not Lakeshore, whatever it is, off the Hudson, across from the Hudson River. Beautiful, amazing structure on the inside, but on the outside it was very basic. You know what I'm saying? It was nice, it was solid, like us. We nice, solid, attractive women, but we weren't, you know, TLC, or we weren't, you know what I'm saying? Some of these other girls that were out that were just absolutely drop dead gorgeous, and you know, whatever. We were just regular chicks from around the way, but it was a whole lot on the inside. We had a lot to offer.
Exactly. Okay.
Equity.
What a wonderful metaphor. What a wonderful metaphor. You know, I'm going to say this publicly because I know In Vogue came out and they had a wonderful sound, but I'm going to tell you something. I really believe that Brownstone had captured the harmonies that not few people do. I've always compared Brownstone's harmonies to that of LaBelle, because y'all were able to do what LaBelle did back in the day, because y'all harmonized with yourselves and then you stacked your vocals to where you had stacked harmonized vocals. I was like, and to where you sound like one big choir, and it was just the three of you. I said, oh my God, nobody had done that since LaBelle days.
Yeah.
I was floored with the harmony structure of that. Floored. And you know, I'm a big old Patty Nut. And I said, oh my God, that is what I believe has been like a signature sound for you guys, because y'all have some real hot, tight harmony. So with saying all that, what made you girls stop recording or take a hiatus, if you will?
That was, I think, again, a natural sort of thing. Maxie had been really interested. Well, first it started kind of with Mimi, who fell in love. You know, she was having some issues with chronic bronchitis that was causing issues. The traveling was really hard on her, you know, vocally, and we'd be in Europe for, you know, months at a time, and you know, she just decided that her health and the possibility of her family and the guy that she had fallen in love with, that she married and they have 2 beautiful children, was more important. You know, we all agree.
Okay.
Health and family is much more important. So we did the whole go away thing on BET. I'm not go away, send off. Thing on BET, and we added Keena, who's a fellow Detroiter. And let me say this the right way. We didn't just decide so much to leave. Once that happened, you know, there was some internal strife. Let's just keep it real. You know, women, you know, I think we had been touring a lot. I think we were really tired. We had some managerial issues, and there was a lot of internal strife, which then we needed a break.
Okay.
If you notice, I'm figuring this out as I go through, so I can say.
I hear you. Right. I got you.
In this day and age with the internet, you just never know. But we needed a break. and rather than have someone look at us and say, okay, before this breaks, let's give these women a break, I think Maxie decided, you know, I really want to do a different kind of music. I'm really into, Maxie's European, for those of you who don't know, or Guyanese, I'm sorry, but she lived in London for a while. And she's dating Soul Shock, who's a Danish producer or whatever, and she had started creatively to start getting into another space. And and I started acting. That's when I did Martin and Living Single, and, you know, I was really passionate and excited about the audition process. And now you can look to see where Beyonce can take a break from Destiny's Child, and she'd go do a movie, and she'd go do a commercial, and Kelly could go do a TV show, and Michelle could do a gospel album, and then they can all come back.
And then come back.
Because of the genius of Matthew Knowles. We were 23, 24, 25 years old, you know, didn't have a chance to spend or appreciate our money. which we probably didn't appreciate it too much at this point. But,
Okay, right.
Yeah. So creatively, we started to burn out. They're like, oh, we can take y'all to the next level. So Maxie just one day decided she didn't want to do it anymore. And a lot of people don't know, but Maxie was the first sort of official Brownstone is breaking up move that was made.
Wow.
And,
okay.
Yeah. And at that point, they were like, okay, Nikki, so we got to do another TV show where we audition for another member. I was like, no, honey, we don't. I'm like,
right.
on. Keena was really disappointed because she was excited and things were starting to flow a certain kind of way. But at that point, I was like, look, Maxie's out of there. I am really excited about acting and all this other stuff. So let's just go on ahead and walk away from this and come back to it when we're supposed to. So
when it's right. Okay.
It's going to take 10 years, but,
Right, because that's my next question. So now, is there something in the works now? Because we have a lot of children. And, I work in a hotel during the daytime hours or whenever they schedule me because I work all kinds of crazy hours. But I know when I say Brownstone and we get to talking about girl groups or whatever, you still have a following, a loyal, diehard following that's looking for the return of Brownstone. Even when I say that you were going to be on the show, everybody's like, okay, when they coming out with something else, I need to hear from them. I need a Brownstone fix. So, yes, honey, I'm telling you, I don't lie, honey. I will not lie to you about the business, baby.
I'm to you.
Okay, so are you guys looking to come back together?
We are. We actually spent a month, in hibernation, or I'm sorry, boot camp, so to speak. Where
okay.
started writing and just kind of connecting. We have a new member, Tisha Brown, who is incredible. I think she's different from the standpoint that she doesn't sing traditionally. Who has a high voice or a higher voice to sing the higher notes. Maxie had a baby, so after she had her baby, her voice actually went a little higher. Tisha actually sings lower even than I do. But Tisha has an amazing energy, and she's got a great sound, and she just fits right in. I work with Tisha in Soul Kittens Cabaret. She's a triple threat, which I think is important, and we are working on some incredible music. I mean, this album is about women's empowerment because, we're all strong, passionate women who go through our own struggles and have our children and families, and, it's just a different story we're trying to tell. But when I go back and I listen to other albums that we've done, and other songs we've done, I feel like we've always been on that page.
Right.
If you love it, do it, show and prove it. That was empowering. So we're going to just try to, not try to compete with that, but build upon that, as Tisha said. Brownstone.
Okay.
The album is, yep.
All right, well, dig that. Well, look, I got a couple of callers coming in. We're going to take these callers before I continue on because my next wave, honey, is going to be talking about the upcoming stuff. You mentioned Soul Kitten Cabaret, and I see you have that you're doing a benefit show with that coming up, and I want to make sure that the folks know about that. So let me take this call. I'm going here. Oh, both of them are from 313. I'm going to go here to, this one had the hand up first, 313-371. You're on the air, darling. You're dishing tea with Big Meech. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Praise the Lord, darling. This is Aunt.
Hey, Auntie. Praise the Lord. How are you?
Oh, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. And I
well,
see you guys are the same.
Yes.
Right.
Just listening to you guys. And I'm so proud of y'all. I don't know what to do. I want you to keep the good work up and keep me in your heart and in your mind. And I'm going to do the same for you guys.
Oh, well, thanks, Auntie. We appreciate that so much.
So one of you Brownstones, are y'all going to come to Detroit?
Yes, we are coming to Detroit. Absolutely. We just have to, we're starting to pick up the bookings and that sort of thing. So we'll be there. As soon as we get there, we're going to post it. We'll make sure that Dishing Tea dishes that tea.
Okay, right.
Okay, make sure we know now.
Yeah,
all right.
Absolutely.
I'm going to keep y'all in the loop, honey.
Okay, darling, you do that.
All right.
Good work up, honey.
I sure will, Auntie.
Okay, darling.
Okay, thanks for calling.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
All
anytime.
Oh, well, I love it. I love it. See, I got fans and groupies. I love it.
Oh, yeah. I'm a groupie, all right. You know
okay.
that.
Yeah, I know. We'll talk about that
group.
in a minute, girl.
I'm an old groupie.
Oh.
Ooh, so you finna, okay, now you finna dish some real tea, girl. All right. Thanks for the call. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Lord have mercy. That's Auntie, y'all. Y'all know that there is Auntie. I love her. I love her. I love her. We're going to go to this other call. This is 313-651. Hello, my darling. You're on the air with Dishing Tea. Wait a minute. I didn't click you right. There you go. You're on the air, darling. Hello.
What's up, Big Meech?
Hey, dish your tea, my darling. What's up?
Nikki, how you doing?
Hi, who's that?
Peter Jackson. Box. What's up?
Hi.
How have you been?
I'm good, darling. How are you?
Good. Pretty good.
I thought you were coming to Atlanta.
Well, soon. But I want to talk about Soul Kittens Cabaret. You know, give me a little bit more tea on that. What's happening?
Well,
what's this you posted? Go right into it, girl.
Right. Soul Kittens Cabaret is a musical that is basically following lives of 7 women. No, we are not the Real Housewives of Atlanta. However, there is just as much entertaining drama. However, this is scripted, and the drama comes from good actresses, not silly women. But anyway, okay, I'll take that back. I guess I can't because it's live. So let me rephrase that because I was a little catty. We're going to leave that alone. Let me dig myself out of this. Kittens Cabaret is the story of 7 women who are performers. If you go back to Dreamgirls or Chicago, Moulin Rouge, live performers where the women are triple threat, sing, dance, act, look amazingly beautiful, and their individual stories of their struggles. One of the women struggles with her weight and body dysmorphic disorder like a lot of women do. One of the women is absolutely drop dead gorgeous but uses her sexuality and her beauty to lure, other unassuming individuals. It's just every woman is sort of represented. One woman is a beautiful, dark-skinned woman who has a complex about the color of her skin. And each of them is sort of performing in this cabaret, and there's the spirit of negativity and the spirit of positivity, which in our first and only production, which happened in Detroit, was played by, I was positive in it, or I was negative karma, and Angie Stone played the light or the positive. And it's just, this sort of energy in this club and sort of the highs and lows and ups and downs, and the host is, this amazing, flamboyant queen, yes, dare I say queen, Tata Burlesque, who is just holding these women together and, the sort of mother hen, for lack of a better word. And it's just full of music and dancing and, good dramatic vignettes. And it's, absolutely destined for New York and Broadway and Hollywood and all the above. And it elevates the sort of urban theater experience, I think. Broadway has always been, a little, unless you're a real theater person, you might not understand or get too caught up in the whole Broadway thing. And then urban theater is sometimes alienates, a more realistic, less step and fetch sort of, you know what I mean? Thing. So it's sort of fusing them together because as black people, we are dramatic and over the top, and everybody got an Aunt Beer and a Mr. Brown. You know what I'm saying? But there's also a sexy side of it, and it's just that's sort of what it is.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and I wish you so much success.
Thank you so much. I wish you so much success.
Much love.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you, darling. All right. Well, see there. That's hometown calling right there, my darling.
All right.
Okay. Now, we're speaking of, we had a very, very good time working on that show in Detroit. I was privileged to work with you. That's, in fact, for the listening audience, that's how we got reacquainted. After high school, she was working on Sweet Potato Pie, and I just happened to I was working at the hotel that everyone was staying in, and I didn't know that she was the director. And I ran into one of the actresses rehearsing. And I said, oh, okay, well, I didn't know this was a production of Blase Spleen. And Griffin said, well, let me get your headshot and resume, and I'll give it to the director. Well, I said, okay, cool. Well, then we come bumping in Marshall's, honey, while we're shopping.
Right.
And then she said, Child, I just got your headshot and resume. I said, from where? She She said, I'm doing sweet potato pie. And I said, oh, child. And that's how we rekindled. And we're able to start working.
Ever since.
Exactly. Okay. So and working on that particular show, yes, it is a fabulous show because just like you said, it was able to bring that Broadway feel to the urban setting, and it didn't feel like a Chitlin Circuit type of play. And I know a lot of those who are into urban theater do not like the term Chitlin Circuit plays or whatever, but it took away from that element that most of those particular plays have they have a common theme. And this particular Soul Kid and Supper Club have stepped it up and have introduced another theme to seek after with urban theater and with entertaining our audiences. And I want to say that there is a wonderful, wonderful show. So tell us about the upcoming production of it and what is it benefiting?
The upcoming production of Kittens Cabaret is now let me say this first. We're in the very early stages of development.
Okay.
So we may push back the Soul Kittens Cabaret debut and instead do the debut of the late night talk show, which I guess we'll do when you talk about the other stuff. But the next production of Soul Kittens Cabaret will in fact incorporate a charitable component. I did the pocketbook monologues a few months back, and it's sort of the Black woman's answer to the vagina monologues with Yetta Young, who's also from Detroit, Highland Park to be exact. And condolences, she actually lost her father recently. But anyway, Yetta produced this pocketbook monologues, and they raised money for a women's organization, and I met another women's organization that happened to have attended, which is the Center for Black Women's Wellness in Atlanta. And we sat down and kind of talked about some possibilities, and, I said that I would love to add that particular component to my show, and they thought, oh, well, this is great because we're doing an event the weekend of November 5th through 8th in Atlanta at the 12 Hotel, and they needed some fundraising initiatives. So we decided to put on a production to raise funds and awareness for Center for Black Women's Wellness, which is www.cbww.org. So cbww.org.
cbww.org. All right. Oh, well, that's very exciting. That's very exciting. And then knowing that the premise of the play, as you just laid out the premise, and for Black women, that there is wonderful. I think that's a marriage right there.
Absolutely. And that's the whole thing. I think people get confused with Soul Kittens because they see the sexy aspect of it, and they forget that it is the story of women who are going through, real issues and, drugs and weight loss and difficulty accepting themselves and their identity. So this particular organization, they do a health fair. They provided 200 mammograms for women last year. It's mental, spiritual, and physical wellness. Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah, that's a marriage made in heaven. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Wonderful partnership. Yeah, I encourage that. I'll even support that, honey.
Please.
Yes.
I send you to save the debate.
Okay. Now let's talk about at the end of the day. Now, I work with you on that. Oh, baby. Now, I'm waiting. I am so waiting for that because that there, I think, was my catalyst for Dish and Tea, honey, because I had so much fun with that. Darling, with Dish and Honey, give us at the end of the day its premise.
At the end of the day. It is the end of the day, and your night has just begun. It is a late night variety show. As you mentioned, the first sort of pilot idea for this was just about me having friends over to my house for dinner and sexy, stimulating, titillating conversation among adults. And you can check out those original clips from YouTube. Shout out to Red and Spurs, our directors, and everybody who came by and participated. And then we sort of, started to build on that a little bit. I started having some conversations with Radio 1 and talking about, expounding and turning this into more of a sort of Arsenio Hall meets the Carol Burnett with, it's a great show. It's live musical performance. What's missing in the entertainment industry now, when you have artists like Anthony Hamilton and, so many amazing singers.
Yeah, Leela James and
Leela
Jill.
James. And I was looking for the Lions and Tigers and Bears girl. What's her name? That's what I was struggling for.
Oh, Jasmine Sullivan, honey.
Jasmine Sullivan with her singing so. And just Chrisette Michele, Erykah Badu, and not just, people who are out now, Joe, people who've had hits. And the audience misses that live performance element. So we're going to do some kind of up-close and personal MTV Unplugged-esque kind of live performances with some conversation. We keep the conversation going. Topics from love and relationships to politics to financial freedom and literacy. And then we'll also have some comedy sprinkled in there, and lifestyle. We want to get involved and get charities and communities and actually give scholarships. So we'll be shooting it at the 14th Street Playhouse in Midtown.
Oh, wonderful.
And, we're going to be shooting the pilot over the next few weeks. We've got some amazing, incredible guests lined up. And every ticket that is purchased goes towards charity. So, we, of course, have our costs and our expenses, but we are cutting the check in November to the Center for Black Women's Wellness. And then, just want to really be interactive. So if you're a young man in Detroit and you want to go to barber school or you want to go to bartending school, we'll have a website set up where you can kind of give us your essay or shoot us your video blog spiel as to why you should be able to have your dream funded. And from the ticket door revenue, you might look up and get a check for $1,000 in the mail just as a, from a scholarship standpoint. So it's about just directly involving the community. We're going to try to get corporate sponsors to pledge. And you can listen online, you can watch online. We have the radio show at NICCIGilbert.net, which is my website, and you can kind of get an idea of some of the topics. And, of course, I hope that I can have a Dishing Tea segments in my show.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart. Well, honey, we Latrobe, baby. Susan trained us well, honey. And once you are down with Latrobe, honey, we are Latrobe forever. Okay? And that's what it's all that. Hey, I'm down, baby. I am so down. I am so down. I love it. I love it. Then, now I mentioned
that whole Carol Burnett Lucy thing. I'm sorry.
Okay, yes. And with some real material, honey, because, I'm not big on slapstick. And one of the things that kept those shows that we mentioned in the forefront was that they had real material. It kept us laughing. It kept us together. And that in our community, we need that for our diaspora so that we can know that we can elevate and we can aspire to higher things. We don't have to always talk about the chicken and the watermelon and things, honey. That's old.
I'm
Yeah.
going to put that word in my little box. I love it. Diaspora. Love it.
Okay. Now you have, I know you were, in the intro I was saying about your academy that you were looking to get started for the youth, the Performing Arts Academy. Is that still in development?
Yes, it's still in development. I mean, unfortunately, as bills and responsibilities arise before dreams come to fruition, you have to kind of put some things on the back burner. And I'm an octopus in the regard that, I have one center, one head, and a lot of arms that are doing different things. But, the academy is definitely something that I have been developing. I still do private. So for people locally, there's definitely the opportunity to kind of, I like to evaluate. And, if somebody's got real talent, I feel like it'd be an awesome thing for me to help develop, a young person. If you're looking for a babysitter for your kids and just want to have a hobby, I'm probably not the one, but I could definitely give you a good referral. I could definitely get you a good, evaluation.
I love it. Okay, she said, "Oh no, honey, no." Let's go here for just a moment, because as a woman and then as a black woman in this industry, particularly that you hold the purse strings and you are the one to make executive decisions, how is your power respected in this business, especially when it comes to contracts and all that kind of stuff? Do they respect you, or do you feel you still have to fight to get things accomplished?
I used to think I needed to fight to prove myself. I used to feel like I had to prove how smart I was and how much I knew. And I learned from a very smart attorney who happened to be Detroit-based is that a couple of things. I learned to be a servant leader.
Mm-hmm.
The whole concept of women using their sugar, and I don't mean your hum-ha or your pancake. I'm not saying that. I mean what we're made of, our sex and our ability to, whatever. I think the whole concept of still remaining a lady and a woman, I think too often we get caught up in the idea that these power brokers, we have to be serious and have maids and, honey, we're going to prove to you that we're smarter than you are, whatever. I think a really smart woman is a woman like, my grandmother, or a woman who was able to stay in marriage long enough with her husband who she couldn't stand to make sure her kids got a great education and she was left with a pension. But I'm saying, so I think learning how to keep your mouth shut, it's not so important to me to prove to people how smart I am. I think my work should speak for itself. And I think business part of it, I'm not so good at that. I like to think that I was and wanted to pretend that I could juggle it. But I think I become disinterested with things easily, and business stuff really disinterested. So that's the first to just fall by the way.
Oh, my God. Now I don't feel alone. Oh, my God.
And I think when you're that kind of person, you have to just surround yourself with smart people who know what they're doing. I'm always going to be aware. Don't try to take $2. But, brokering the deal and all that other stuff, I could sell it, but I'm not a closer.
Okay, right. Oh, I'm so glad you said that, because my BFF had to get on me because I keep telling him, business just upsets me because I don't like the tactics of it. And because it seems as though it's so sharkish and you got to this and I'm like, for you to say that, I just had a sigh of relief just come over me because somebody actually know what the hell I mean when I say
most creative people don't get caught up in the business, and I think when you do, it stunts your creative ability. I mean, really, it's like accountant trying to become a singer. First you got to figure, you got to have a passion. And I think in order to be really successful, you need to surround yourself in business with people who have a passion for business.
Okay, dig it. Okay, right. But does that bump heads, though? Because I know, in trying to have a manager, I don't need you to, you're my manager to get my vision together. I don't need you to infuse your vision to make your vision mine. So, in that, is that part of the power struggle of asserting your power?
You know what? I've learned that managers are just bookers for the most part, because if you don't have a career to manage, you know what I'm saying? Like, some managers, Shakim is who manages like Tifa.
Yeah, Tifa, and Terrence Power, Yeah,
and I had a really good manager. Shout out to Ron Stringer, who I, to this day feel like was probably the best. And when things pop off and I can pay him what my drama is worth, then I definitely will be back in touch with him. But I think a manager is somebody who's passionate about you and your success and believes in your ideas and doesn't try to execute his idea or his vision, just sort of uses his expertise or whatever to execute yours. And a lot of times that's why artist managers butt heads, because some managers are just that. They're good. They're like a front to answer a call and to book a show and to make sure that all the business in particular go well. But any manager who starts telling you how to perform on stage and what you should be doing and living vicariously through you and trying to be, more branding his management company. How about that?
How about it? Okay, right. How about that? Now, let's tackle this question right here, because I've heard this, of course we have a public and the public talks. How do you handle your critics or the naysayers who feel as though you Rossed out? And for those of y'all who don't know what I mean, Diana Ross has been known to be like the diva personification, of what realness and nose up and highfalutin in the air is supposed to be. And, critics may say that, the breakup of Brownstone was because you Rossed out and you thought you were this and you thought you were that and you want to step out. They say that about Beyonce too, when LaToya ended up leaving the group and this, that, and the other. How do you respond to your critics with all of that?
Let me think about this. I think in order to criticize something, you have to have some sort of understanding of it. And I think, I learned the word constructive criticism a long time ago. And really, that's the only criticism that really applies to me or concerns me, because when you are being criticized from a constructive place versus someone who's just trying to kind of tear you down, whatever the case may be, you can use it and you can improve and become a better person and hopefully have less constructive criticism, which is ultimately my goal. For people who feel like I was the diva who decided, enough of this Brownstone stuff, I'll move on to bigger and better things. No, that's not me. I do have a little bit of a diva in me. I'm a drama queen. I like creative stuff. I like, what's that over there? Let me go over here. And I forgot about this over here. I probably have more ADD than diva.
That's a blog right there.
Potentially be misconstrued as diva, because you'd be like, yeah, girl, we should get together. And I'm like, yeah. And I really want to do it. And I really think it's a great idea. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Okay, we're definitely going to do it. And my heart and my intention is there. And then something that I feel is either more important or more interesting at the moment or whatever the case may be will come up, and I will totally forget. You know what I mean? So that side of it I'll accept responsibility for. But just, I don't have the heart of a diva. I'm too giving. I'm too concerned about the next person. I think diva is, it's cute if they're talking about the fact that you can sing.
It's cute. Okay.
It's cute. I mean, it's cute. The term diva is cute best for me. Because, it means, she was fly and her outfit was fabulous. And diva is what do you call it? Diva is a moment. Diva is, you're having a diva moment.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Diva is a moment. I like that.
Yeah. Diva holds absolutely no value in my life. None. Because I could be completely behind the scenes wearing flip-flops, a tunic, with my hair up in a ponytail, and absolutely no makeup, just as happy as I could be, happier than if I was in full drag at the American Music Awards getting ready to accept a Grammy. And that's just from the bottom of my heart. So diva doesn't really mean much to me. Mm-mm. And I didn't break up the group for all the people who think that, and that's what I'm saying. The general conception or perception is that I broke up the group because I decided I wanted to go solo and didn't want to do the group thing anymore. And that's not what happened.
Wow. Okay, you know what? Hold on. Because we're down to the last 90 little seconds. Let me close this out. I want to ask you a couple more questions for the after show. For those of you who are listening by phone, you get to catch it live. For those of you listening by internet, you're catching it in the archives. But I want to thank you, my sister, for coming out and dishing your tea with me, honey. For those of you who are listening, I thank you for your support and your love. I encourage you to come back every Wednesday. I'll be here as long as God says so, from 1 to 2. The number here to give to your friends if you love me, to your enemies if you hate me, 347-205-9183. You want to send all of your questions, comments, concerns, dear meets letters, relationship letters to Dishing Tea with Big Meech at gmail.com. Dishing Tea with Big Meech at gmail.com. I thank you all for your love and your support, and we're going to keep things moving right along. I got some wonderful things coming up in the near future, and I want to make sure that you guys are included. So with that, I bid you a good day, and we will talk with you very well. Okay? Ta. Okay. All right, my darlings. Nikki, are you still there? Oh, I think I lost Nikki. Well, okay, for those of you who are still listening, thank you so much for your time. And like I said, I'll see you guys next week. Next week, we're going to be talking about domestic violence in the LGBT community, domestic violence, and also we're going to talk about the role of the stud in the LGBT community. And for those of you who are unaware of the stud is the masculine, the hardcore masculine lesbian, or the lesbian who appears to be holding down the male role model, or the male role, if you will, the stud. We're going to talk about those dynamics next week, and I hope that you will be encouraged to come back and join me, okay? So until then, my darlings, thank you for your time. Thank you for your love. Thank you for dishing tea with me. I'll talk with you soon. Ciao.